day 2 of PMI Risk Management Exam Preparation course. So let me just share my screen and then we will start. Okay, so can you see my screen, everybody?
Yes, sir, clearly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So before we start, if any of you have any question, please feel free to ask. Any question, please. Anyone, please, any question? No question? Okay. So let's start. There are 7 processes in risk management. First is risk management planning that we are discussing. Then identify risk, then domain 3, which is analysis. And with an analysis, we have 2 different types of analysis, qualitative and quantitative. And then plan risk responses and implement risk responses. This is domain 4. And the last domain is monitoring and controlling risk. So we're talking about the first one, plan risk management. And in plan risk management, we started our discussion with developing risk management plan. And risk management plan is one of the subsidiary plans, right? So we have 9 different subsidiary plans: scope, schedule, cost, quality, communication, stakeholder risk, procurement, and resources, right? So let's talk about risk management plan. Okay. Is my voice loud and clear? Is there any distortion, anyone, please?
No, sir,
Any
it's
dis-
clear.
Okay,
Fine.
fantastic. The risk management plan contains your risk-related processes, risk-related policies, risk-related procedures, risk-related tools and techniques, and risk-related templates and formats. In addition to that, it contains detail about roles and responsibilities. Roles and responsibilities. Now, when we talk about roles, there are 4 different types of roles in risk management. One is project manager. Right? Second is risk manager. Third is risk owner. And fourth is risk action owner. Now, let's see what's the role of a project manager. Project manager's job is integration. Project manager integrates all the knowledge areas together. For example, integration of scope with schedule, with cost, with risk, quality, resources, procurement, right? That's the change management. Communication, stakeholders. This is the job of project manager. Means integration of all the knowledge areas together. Integration of risk with other knowledge areas. Right? Who would like to answer? What is meant by this integration? Anyone, please. Everybody, please turn on your cameras. Please turn on your cameras, everybody. Arslan is resting in his bedroom. Like Saftar as well. Good. Okay. Tell me, what is meant by integration?
Integration means interlinking all these activities together.
Okay. Developing a linkage. Okay, anybody else? What is meant by integration?
Integration means integrating all subsidiary plans in a master plan.
What is meant by integrating? You're saying teaching means teaching to students. What is meant by teaching? Anybody else? What is integration?
Integration look like to merge something into a main scope or the main area. Like
Okay.
you have the scope, schedule, risk, quality, resources, everything you have, and you how to make it deliverable and you know kind of materialize or put implement a system basically.
Implement a system, right? So see, all these things are interrelated with each other. You cannot manage them independently. Let's say we are all part of a team, and Rifat is manager scheduling, Arslan is manager communication, right? Umesh is manager resources, and Abid is manager scope. We have different areas. So one individual, let's talk about Rifat, he can't do his job if he doesn't have understanding of the scope. So he needs to coordinate with Abid to understand the scope, right? So all these things are dependent on each other. Now, this dependency management, this is done by product manager. And product manager makes sure that Rifat is taking input from other areas on which his work is dependent on. For example, he's taking risk into consideration when developing scheduling. He's taking resources into consideration when developing schedule. He's taking cost into consideration and all of these things, right? So this is called integration, making sure that all these things are interrelated and the right input is being provided to relevant component. This is also called unifying. And what's the purpose? The purpose is making sure that all the plans are consistent. There is consistency. All the plans are accurate, right? And all the plans aligned with the overall objective of the project, alignment. This is the job of integration, and this is done by project manager. So that's the role of product manager when it comes to risks. Then we have risk manager. The risk manager's job is making sure that entire risk management is done in a structured manner. Structuring risk management. Making sure that right process is being followed, right? For example, risks are planned, identified, analyzed, right? Right tools are being used, right? And risk manager is responsible for the entire risk management effort. Whatever is happening regarding risk in your project, it's the responsibility of risk manager. Overall, accountability of risk management process. You understand everybody? Does it make sense? Then comes risk owner. So let's say we identify 5 risks in our project. We identified 5 risks in our project. So risk A, which is delay in supply. Delay in supply, right? We have risk B, let's say change in regulation, potential change in regulation, right? We have C, change in scope, right? No funding. Just a second, please. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. So let's say no funding and so on. Now, delay in supply This is procurement related issue. Change in regulation. This is business or regulatory things. Change in scope is, now we have different people responsible for different things. Let's say Safdar is looking after procurement. So we'll say, okay, Safdar, you will be taking care of this risk. The Safdar is risk owner of this particular risk. You understand, everybody? Change in regulation, let's say sponsor would be looking at it, or somebody else. Let's say business development department or legal department. So whoever would be taking care of the risk, that person would be called risk owner, and we can have multiple risk owners. You understand, everybody? Let's say for this, business analyst would be looking after this. And we say, let's say Mubarak is the business analyst for our project, right? No funding, this is related to cost. And let's say Ahmad is responsible for cost. So these individuals are risk owners for respective risks. It's their responsibility to take care of the risk. Now let's take the first example. Delay in supply. It's procurement related risk, and Safdar is responsible for that. So Safdar in case is our risk owner. Next is risk action owner. Sorry. Risk action owner. Now the job of risk action owner is to plan and take action whenever risk is realized. Let's say Safdar has a team member who will be responsible for this, right? So that individual is risk action owner, the person who would be taking action, anyone who is responsible for that particular risk. And there could be multiple people who would be responsible for that. You understand, everybody? Project manager, then risk manager, then risk owner, and then risk action owner. Who would like to explain what's the difference between risk owner and risk action owner? Anyone, please, because this is really important question from exam perspective. Anyone, please. What is the difference?
Risk owner would be accountable for that risk. And
Sorry, Umesh, your voice is not clear. Could you please repeat?
can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little better. Go ahead.
Okay, risk owner means if they accountable for that risk, and the risk action owner might be responsible to take the action.
Perfect. So this person is accountable, and this person is responsible to take the action. Right? So risk owner versus risk action owner. Risk owner is responsible or overall accountable. And what they do is they develop the strategy for the risk. They ensure overall monitoring, right? Or implementation of the risk response. And risk action owner, they implement risk response. You understand, everybody? They take action. So one is doing, other is monitoring. Now, let me give you another question, right? This is a different question, not the first one, but let me just share that if I can. So I have sent a question in the chat. Everybody, please read it and tell me what's the right answer. Okay, right. Those who have chosen A, okay, Aftab, you have chosen A. Why?
Because it is risk owner is responsible for developing strategy and monitoring risk status and implementation also.
right?
Like an
Arslan?
engineer is assigned.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like an engineer is assigned risk owner, but supervisor or site team will be responsible for taking action on that risk.
Okay, thank you. Sir Arslan, you have chosen D. You please explain why.
Yes, I think implementation and response taking action is his responsibility. Risk
Okay.
action. So I think you should develop.
Okay. Aftab, what's your response to Arslan's comment? He's saying implementation of risk response is the responsibility of risk action owner. So why you have chosen A?
Sorry, I was on mute. Because here we are saying developing risk response also. So action action owner is not doing this.
Okay. So Mubarak, you have chosen option C.
No, by mistake, it's the risk owner. So
Okay. Correct answer is risk owner, because we are talking about developing strategies and monitoring implementation, right? If you read the question, who is responsible for developing responses to risk and monitoring the implementation strategies? Yes, doing implementation, taking action is the job of risk action owner, but monitoring is the job of risk owner. You understand, everybody? Does it make sense? Is it clear? Once again, I repeat, you may expect a question in the exam. See, we have product manager, then we have risk manager, then we have risk owner, and then we have risk action owner. The job of risk action owner is to just take the action. That's it. And the job of risk owner is to develop strategy and monitor and track and ensure that a particular action to respond to a risk is being taken. I hope it is clear. If not, please feel free to ask. This is really important concept. So you define these roles and responsibility in your risk management plan, right? If you're talking about risk management plan, in risk management plan, you write processes, policies, procedures, you write tools and techniques, you write templates and formats, and you write roles and responsibilities. In addition to that, in risk management plan, we talk about risk appetite of your stakeholder, risk threshold, or risk tolerance. What is appetite?
Sir, one question from the previous
Yes,
section.
please. Yeah.
Is there possible that we can have the multiple risk owners?
Absolutely, yeah. We can have 10 risk owners, 10 risk, 10 owners. We can have 20 risk owners. We can have 5 risk owners. It depends on number of risks. Let's say you have 100
No,
risks.
each risk, one risk can have multiple owners.
Okay. It's slightly complicated. Usually what we do is we assign a risk to a particular person. One risk owner may have multiple risks, right? Having multiple risk owners will make it difficult to track. For example, if I say, okay, Aftab and Arslan is responsible for tomorrow's attendance. Arslan would be thinking Aftab will be doing, and Aftab will be thinking Arslan would be doing, and nobody would be doing, right? So when you have multiple honors, it creates problem for a single action. So just to ensure better management, and this is the principle of management, don't have multiple people responsible for the same thing. Have one ownership, so that you should ask that person. Safdar, is it clear? You can have, but that's not, from management perspective, that's not very efficient.
So the action owner can be multiple, right?
Yeah, action owner can be multiple.
Okay, sir, clear.
You have a risk, and let's say one action is about legal thing, one action is about communication, one action is about ensuring quality. So you can have 3 people who should be taking action for that particular case. But overall accountability is with one person. That is risk owner. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, it means like if we have suppose procurement, delay in supplies. There are two departments responsible for that. We can say one is the supply chain who is arranging the items, and maybe one is the logistic control department. They are arranging the logistics for those items purchased by the supply chain.
That's right.
Then we have
absolutely.
to define two separate risks. That one in the delay in purchase, and other one is delay in the logistic, and the different owners will be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We cannot say that delay in supply chain only one risk, and then we can put both supply chain and logistic as a risk owner. And this is not the true practice.
Yeah, that's right. It's your choice that at what level you want to break down the risk. It's your choice, right? The level you need to define. If you're comfortable defining it as a single entity, that's perfectly fine. But obviously, if you do the breakdown, if you decompose it at the lowest level, that's a good practice. So that each party who's responsible for that, they know their area. An individual who doesn't have expertise regarding comprehensive resolution of the issue, that is problematic. So you can divide a risk into multiple risks, right? But too much decomposition is also not good. So within supply chain, let's say you have one regarding communication, one regarding purchase order, one regarding, let's say, quality, one regarding inspection, right? Too much decomposition is also not good. It should be balanced between. Okay,
thank you.
next is risk appetite. Appetite means hunger. How hungry you are. You will only eat up to your level of hunger. That will satisfy you. Anything extra will create problem. Or appetite is also called willingness to take risk. Willingness to take. Let's say you have a new opportunity, a new project, right? If you buy that new software or new opportunity, right, your efficiency will go up by, let's say, 50%. There's a high probability that efficiency will go up. But at the same time, there are high chances of failure. So you're adopting a new technology. If you adopt that, efficiency will go up. But at the same time, there's a high chance of failure. And if it fails, there would be loss of, let's say, $1 million that you spend on trainings and having access to the new software or new technology. Now, what you should be doing? Anyone, please. Should you be purchasing the software or not? What you would be doing? Anyone, please. What you would be doing?
It depends on organization's appetite level, that how much
Absolutely
they
right.
are willing to
It
take this risk.
varies from person to person. Maybe Abid would be saying $1 million, no problem, let's do it. That's not a big amount of money, right? I have a lot of money, no problem. Even if it is $10 million, I could have done it, no problem. Do it, guys, go ahead. Right? And let's say if you ask me, I would say no, don't use even $10, right? So it varies. And Umesh is kind of balanced. He says, let's evaluate, let's see if we could do it or not, right? And Arslan is supporting Abid, both are millionaires, right? Huge money, right? So they're saying, let's do it, don't worry about that. So it varies from person to person. Same is the case, it varies from organization to organization. You understand, everybody? Different
sir.
organizations, they have different appetite. They have different level of risk to be accepted. So first of all, we need to understand what is that appetite. Because appetite will determine the amount or the level of risk management you should be having. Let's say you have a very nice friend, Rifat. Rifat is a biker. He drives heavy bikes at high speed, right? 200 kilometers per hour, 250. And let's say Aftab is joining him, right? So Rifat first understand the appetite of Aftab. How much speed Aftab can bear, right? Because if he doesn't understand, then it would be problematic. Next time Aftab won't be going with Rifat. That's the last time.
Mr. Amar,
And
I'm so sorry to cut you off.
yeah, yeah,
I'm so
it's
very much
opposite.
curious. How do you know that?
I'm just what would I say? I'm just
These are
guessing.
assumptions. These are basically assumptions.
These are assumptions.
No, it looked like to me that you already know that I am overspeeding most of the time.
I'm just assuming. Okay. So you understand? Understanding the appetite or the level of riskiness of your customer is the key. Because based on that, you will be deciding what level of risk management you should be having. For example, appetite, a stakeholder could be risk taker or risk seeker. A stakeholder could be risk averse. A stakeholder could be risk neutral. So risk taker with a high appetite. If the risk appetite is high, what kind of risk management you need? Like very stringent, flexible, or what? Who would like to answer? What kind of risk management you need?
It's flexible.
Flexible, right? You don't need to be very hard on risks. You need to be very flexible because you know your client, your customer, your stakeholders, they have high risk appetite, right? And if somebody is risk averse, Rifat would be driving within the speed limit. He would be very stringent, very cautious in monitoring their speed, right? So that's why understanding the appetite is the key. If you don't understand the appetite, then what kind of risk management system or structure you would be designing for your project? You would not be having any idea. Yeah, go ahead.
Amir, I have a question regarding who will decide whether your customer appetite is taking risk more or it's risk neutral. We need a very stringent risk. It's a project manager, right?
It's a risk manager's job. It's a risk manager's job because risk manager is responsible for overall risk management of the project, right? Risk manager's job to identify, to define the risk appetite of your stakeholder. But how we will be doing that, we'll be talking about various tools and techniques. In that section, we will be discussing how you actually determine what is your risk appetite of your stakeholder. Okay? But it's the job of risk manager. Just
Sir, risk
remember,
manager and project manager can be same body. Risk manager and project manager.
see, if you're working on a small project, yes, project manager would be acting as a risk manager as well. But ideally, when we talk about PMI certification, we think of a large infrastructure projects, right? Let's say $1 million project, right? That has more than 200 team members. And that is, people from different countries. You have remotes just to assume a broader scope or scale of your project so that we better understand all of these concepts. But if you're working on a small scale project, maybe you don't need a separate person for risk owner or separate risk manager. Maybe one person is doing all the activities, right? But when we assume we're working on a large project, these roles are separate. Project manager is separate, risk manager is separate, risk owner is separate, and actually is separate. Doctor, is it clear?
So, Amir, in
Yes,
normal
sir.
cases, in normal cases, most of the time, these sort of decisions, even in multi-billion projects, taken by project manager because he knows everything, not only a risk section, but he knows the entire project bodies and its uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
plus and minus things. So, in my experience, in a lot of uh, this risk sessions, the final call is by project manager or proponent side. They are saying, okay, yes, we can take this risk. And for this, we can manage this risk within certain boundaries.
Okay, just remember for your all PMI exams, none of the decisions is taken only by project manager. None of those. All decisions are taken in a collaborative fashion. Collaborative. Team is involved, risk-related people are involved, project manager is involved, sponsor is involved, stakeholders are involved. So it's a collaborative effort, right? This is not a best practice to take unilateral decision, right? We talked about various decision-making strategies, unanimity, right? Majority, plurality, autocracy, and consensus. Unanimity, when 100% of the participants say yes. By the way, I was thinking to not study today and continue our discussion next weekend. What do you think? Who is up for this? Let's end today's class.
Okay. Is there any
Sir, it's-
specific issue?
Yeah, there is an issue. I don't feel like teaching. What do you think? Should we
Sir,
end
it's
today's
fine,
class?
no problem. As long as you are comfortable, we have no problem.
So basically, you are testing that
You taking
with the
Decision
with
making.
example, huh?
Yeah. So if you all say yes, let's do it. It's unanimity. So I'm okay. We can continue the lecture. It was just to experiment, right? If you all say yes, let's do it. No problem. It's
Yes, sir.
unanimity. 100% of the participants, they say yes. Majority, some of you saying, we have class next, we have some work to do next Saturday. So I think it would be good if we do it today. And let's say 7 out of 10 people say, let's do it today. So that's majority. Or 7 out of 10 say, let's do it next Saturday. So that's majority. When the largest block, largest percentage of the people say more than 50%, that's what we call majority. Plurality. When you have multiple options. Let's say, can we have class on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? Which day is good for you? Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? 2 people say Monday. 3 people say, or 2 more say, let's say, or 3 say Tuesday. And 5 say Wednesday. So we'll go with 5. Right? Now 5 is not majority. We are 10 people. 5 is just 50%. So, but we are going with the largest group, that is called plurality. You understand, everybody? It's not majority. We are going with the largest group. Autocracy, single individual. I say, let's end the class today, right? So maybe here, out of respect as teacher, you say, okay, but in real projects, you don't feel like it's the right approach. You want yourself to be involved. Your input should be considered, right? You have experience, right? Your input is valued, so you want to participate in that. Autocracy, when a single individual, one person makes decision, right, on behalf of everybody. And the last one is consensus. Who would like to answer? What's the difference between unanimity and consensus? Anyone, please. What's the difference between unanimity and consensus?
Consensus means it's hidden. Means people is writing or giving the vote something. It's not open. And
Okay, it's not open, right? Anybody else? Anybody else? If you're already PMP, CP, or SP, or other certified, and you're not answering me correctly, I'll write to PMI. Please check their certificates.
So unanimity is
I have
something
doubts on. Okay, go ahead.
that everybody is 100% agree to something. And consensus means that some people have agreed on some points and disagree on some points, or have some reservations on something, and conditional agreement, we can say, in other words.
What is conditional agreement? Is it unanimity or consensus?
In that somebody is agree to some points and is not agreed on some points, but they
Is
reach
it
on some
consensus or
results.
unanimity? Is it consensus or unanimity?
Consensus, sir.
Consensus,
In unanimity,
absolutely. Absolutely right.
100% agreement.
In unanimity, everybody agrees without any reservation. As I said, let's end class, and suppose all of you say yes to it. By the way, I was expecting yes, a yes from all of you, instant yes, when I said let's not do the class anymore. So that's what we call unanimity. Consensus is, let's say Abid, Rifat, Arslan, Umesh, they say, yes, let's do it. Let's end the class. And Aftab is saying, yeah, or let's say Saftar is saying, I think we should complete the class today, but since majority is saying, let's do it, okay, let's do it. So Saftar doesn't want it, but because of his friends and group, because of Rifat and Aftab and Abid, right? He's saying, okay, let's do it. Abid has a lot of money, right? Remember, we talked about it. So Saftar is saying, let's not offend Abid, right? Maybe I need him in near future, right? So let's not offend Abid. Let's go with the group. Going with the group despite having reservation, this is called consensus, right? To maintain group harmony, right? This is called consensus. Remember, from PMI perspective, consensus is the best way to make decisions. Unanimity is ideal. It's not possible that everybody agrees on everything without reservation. Consensus, even if somebody has reservation, listen to those reservations, respond to that until the person is agreed. So consensus is the best form of decision making. So this is an answer to Ahmad's point that project manager makes decision. Yes, in real life it happens, but from PMI perspective, we try to go for consensus. You understand? Let's say I asked, let's end the class, and Aftab asked, is there any issue? Right? And I responded, yes, I'm not feeling well. Now this leads to consensus. Initially, Aftab had some reservation, but after listening to the logic and rationale, he said, let's go for it. This is called consensus. You understand, everybody? So these are different decision making. We also define decision making parameters or rules in risk management plan, because risk management plan is set of guidelines. All guidelines are documented in risk management plan. You understand, everybody? Any confusion? Anyone, please? No confusion, all set?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll see that when you do mock test, if there is any confusion or not. Okay, so we were talking about risk appetite, its willingness to take risk. There are three terminologies that we use. One is called appetite. Second is called risk tolerance. Third is called risk threshold. So appetite is your green zone, right? This is your green zone, right? This is your appetite, where you're comfortable, right? You don't have any issue. Let's say this is 0 mile per hour. This is 70 mile per hour. This is the green zone. You can drive without any problem here. This is your appetite. But this is the region which is allowed, but it is dangerous. It's risky. It's risk-free. Zero risk. It's risky. Let's say it's 70 to 80 miles. It's risky. You can drive between 70 to 80, but it's risky. It's challenging. You need to be very cautious. This is called risk tolerance. You can tolerate risk within this range. Appetite, you need not to be worried about that. It's risk-free zone. Risk tolerance, here you have risk, you need to be very cautious. And the upper limit of risk tolerance, this is called risk threshold. Anything beyond that, anything above 80 is unacceptable. This is the danger zone. We're not going to drive that beyond 80. I hope you understand the difference between appetite, tolerance, and threshold. Is it clear, everybody? Threshold is a point, tolerance is the range, and appetite is the riskiness where you don't have any problem. Now, this 80 miles varies from person to person. You understand, everybody? Maybe I'm a good driver and I could say, even if I cross 100, I can do that, no problem. And maybe somebody who has just started driving, for them, 60 is the red zone or the red line. So this is why we need to understand these ranges for different stakeholders. We need to understand what is the risk appetite of our stakeholder, what's the red zone for them, how much loss they can bear, how much experimentation we can do, how much reserves they're capable of investing in project if something goes wrong. So this is a discussion about risk threshold, appetite, and tolerance, and we document this in risk management plans. So before you identify risk and before you do something, you document risk appetite of your stakeholder. You understand, everybody? Any confusion about it? Then we jump to risk categories. Risk categories. So you can categorize risk in different categories, right? For example, we use PESTLE for this. What is PESTLE? Anyone, please? What is PESTLE?
I remember a few of these political, economical.
Right. Right. What next?
Social,
Social.
technological.
I will be writing to PMI today. I have realized this. I'm gonna I'll send a few names to PMI. Okay.
Do write them, but after the RMP, once we are done with RMP.
Okay. Political, economic, social, technical, environmental, legal. And similarly, we use spectrum for this, right? There are different, abbreviations that we use. No, these are different categories. These are different categories of your risks. Why it is important to categorize? So that you have different strategies for different risks. We haven't identified risk yet. Why we are talking about risk categories here? Who would like to answer? We don't have list of risks.
But if we know the categories, then we can define in the respective areas.
Okay, right. One way of saying that, if you know the categories, right, you can define risk in those areas. Anybody else?
You can have the expertise from that area to define the risk.
Right. You can have expertise regarding that area. Okay, what else? What's the benefit of defining these categories?
So you can address it to the relevant people, right? The action owners.
Address it to the relevant people, okay, right?
I think this is the best way for brainstorming.
Right.
To decide
Absolutely.
each. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you have risk categories, listed before, it's easier to define risk. Let's talk about political risks. It helps in brainstorming, right? Wonderful point. So you can define risk with these categories. And also it helps in grouping as well. So you can group activities and group risk, and you can define risk. I hope it is clear, right? Okay. So what we do is we write these categories like this. Please pay attention, everybody. So here we have overall project risk. And then we have these categories like political risks, let's say technical risk, environmental, and so on. Right? Now, within political, you further divide into subcategories. So, for example, within political, lack of government support, policy discontinuation, and so on. Why I'm subcategorizing? Why? Who would like to answer? What's the advantage? What's the benefit of doing that?
Because you can evaluate the severity of these risks.
Evaluate the
Analyze.
severity of the risk. Okay, anybody else?
And you can have the specific or the risk owner, I mean the specific risk owner or right risk owner, we can say we can have.
But Safdar, we don't have risks yet. How would it help in risk, defining risk owner?
Sir, by distributing like lack of support, maybe the one department responsibility and the policy discontinuation is from the other government department. So we can.
That's right. That's
say.
right. But at this point in time, we don't have risks. So first you will be having risks, or first you will be having risk owners. Who would like to answer?
Risks.
Risks, right? So these subcategories would help you define and identify risks regarding these subcategories. So risk related to lack of funding, risk related to policy discontinuation. You understand? So these subcategories will help you define risks.
So, Amir, I have a question here regarding categories and subcategories.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, are these categories or subcategories are standard in PMI, or these categories depends on project type of projects? So
Yeah.
let me give an example. For example, in HAZOP, in this is sort of process study. So here we are also defining the same keywords or key areas. Then we further analyze hazards or their risk or consequences.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's the same, right?
Yeah, it
It's a guide.
varies from project to project. There is no
It varies
standard for that, right? You can use
no standard.
Spectrum, you can use Pastel, you can use VUCA. There are different schemes that you can use, and you can use random as well. For example, let's say if I'm doing risk assessment, so I can do students related risks, PMI related risks, teacher related risk, content related risk, technology related risk, right? So I can define my own categories. So there is no hard and fast rule, okay, these are the categories that you should be in. You can change it according to your project, right?
But for example, if you miss certain categories, it means that you are missing a whole area of risks.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely, that's right. So these subcategories help you define more risk, or these subcategories act like an input for further risk identification. Does it make sense, everybody? It acts like an input. Or in other words, I can say these subcategories act like a prompt. They act like a prompt. Based on that, you identify more risk. Input, for example, you give an input to Chat GPT and it gives you answer. That input is called prompt. You understand, everybody? Something that you write, right, for Chat GPT, that is called a prompt. So you give a prompt to Chat GPT and it gives you answer. So similarly, these subcategories act like a prompt, and based on that prompt, you identify more risks. That's why this lowest level of categories is called prompt list. What we call it? We call it a prompt list. Is it clear, everybody? It acts as an input to define more risk. This entire categorization of risks, or breaking down risk in different categories, this is called risk breakdown structure. Risk breakdown structure, RBS. And lowest level of RBS is called a prompt list. Lowest level of RBS is called a prompt list because it helps you define more and more risks. Understand, everybody? Is it clear? Any confusion about it? Anyone feel? Okay. So we define risk categories as well. So what we have discussed so far in risk management plan, you write risk-related processes, risk-related, you define tools and techniques, you define risk-related rules and responsibilities, you define risk-related categories, you define appetite and other these factors, threshold and tolerance for the stakeholders. We're still in the planning stage. We're not identifying risk at this stage. We're just preparing. We're just kickstarting. Before you kickstart, all the mechanism or framework that you develop, that is called risk strategizing or risk planning. We'll be talking about that.
So, that's one question here. Like you mentioned here, you define. So you mean the risk manager, right?
So you means team, everybody in a collaborative fashion. Yes, ultimately accountability lies with the risk manager, but it is done in a collaborative fashion. Right? For example, who is responsible to conduct this class effectively? What would be your answer? Who is responsible?
Facilitator.
Sorry?
Facilitator or you?
Yeah, it's the facilitator, but it's everybody's job. Facilitator in collaboration with all of you, right? Facilitator alone can't do this. Same is the case. Ultimately, risk manager is responsible, but with the collaboration of everybody who's involved, with the collaboration of stakeholders, team members, project manager, sponsor, and everybody, okay? So in collaboration with everybody, they are responsible.
You asking the responsibility, you are accountable, right?
Yes, that's right. I am accountable for ensuring that we have right framework for risk management, right? And responsibility with everybody.
Yes.
Accountability lies with risk manager. Okay, any questions so far, anyone, please? Okay. The question
Yes,
is,
I
how do we
have.
do that? Yeah, go ahead.
We need to just go a little back on consensus.
Yeah.
Those could be in writing only or can be verbal only.
Verbal, anyone, not writing. If anyone
Not
is
in
raising reservation, they don't need to be.
those could
Consensus
be
is,
verbal as well.
yeah, consensus is having discussion and convincing each other. And if everybody is convinced, that is what we call consensus. There shouldn't be any need of writing or verbal or not verbal. You're just discussing, you're convincing everybody. If everybody is convinced and they agree, that's what we call consensus. Okay.
Okay.
The
So,
question is
Amit,
how, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, please move on, move forward. I have one question. So before starting this whole exercise, so uh, I just want to know which departments should be the part of this workshop in a particular project. It should be in the risk plan, the participants of the risk workshop.
Okay, that's
Who
a
will
very good
decide the,
question. That's a very
yeah.
good question. So we define stakeholders. It's not the department. We call stakeholders. I was about to come here, right? This is my next part of our discussion. How do we do that, right? So in how I'll be answering who should be involved in that, okay? Ahmad, I'll answer that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So in order to develop risk management plan, what do you think? What are the things which you are supposed to take benefit from? Everybody, please write in the chat. In order to develop, let's say I ask you now, please develop risk management plan for this project. And you are the risk manager, right? Tell me what inputs you need. What are the things which you are supposed to take benefit from, or what are the things which you think you should consider while developing this? Please write in the chat. You have 60 seconds. Everybody, please write in the chat. Inputs required to develop risk management plan. Okay, everybody. So I can see. Good. Historical data, scope, quality, timeline, SME, legal and environmental requirements, stakeholder register, lessons learned, OPAs, EF, input from, perfect. Scope, complete understanding of the contract, clauses, perfect, wonderful, great. Exactly, these are the things that should be. So we'll start with document analysis. We analyze existing documents. And in existing documents, we could have contract. Some of you have mentioned. We have scope, list of requirements, lessons learned from previous projects, right? Risk management plan of previous projects, right? All these, you have project charter. What is project charter? Anyone, please? What is project charter?
High level of scope, timeline, cost, all is defined.
What is project charter? Anyone, please?
An
Dinesh is saying
overview, the high
Okay.
level overview of the project.
high level
When
overview of
it's
the
a
project.
study, yeah.
Okay. High level overview. Rifat, do you have any other certification before by PMI?
No, sir, this is my very first.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
We have actually internal few trainings every year,
Okay.
so that I am conducting, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Anybody else? What is charter? Abid? Let's talk to the most influential stakeholder in our group. Abid, go ahead, please.
Okay. The project charter basically contains the high-level information like milestones, key stakeholders, high-level scope. It's like what we call in our country like the PC1 planning and commission. So it's something like that. I mean, it will
Okay.
consist of the PC1.
What's the key benefit? What's the key benefit of charter? Anybody else? Aftab, what's the key fundamental primary purpose of project charter?
In project charter, actually, we have high level scope, high level risks, milestones, and project objective. And in this project charter, project manager is being assigned so that he can start working on project officially. And it has budget also for
Okay.
that project.
Okay. Sorry, could you please repeat? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that
Stakeholder also includes in this. Stakeholder
Umesh,
Okay, sorry, one by one. Umesh, please complete what you're saying, then Aftab. Okay, Umesh, go ahead.
yeah, that high level cost, scope, schedule, stakeholder who is involved, and then the project manager who are going to assign who is the project manager. These are all high levels are mentioned in the project.
Right, absolutely. Thank you. Aftab, go ahead, please.
yeah, I said that project charter has high level scope with the budget, milestones, key milestones, and high level risks, and project manager also whoever is assigned for that project, and budget also.
Right, absolutely. So the primary purpose of project charter is to appoint somebody as project manager. That's the primary purpose. Appointment of project manager and to formally kickstart the project. And it contains all the high level information. So you will be using all these documents to get information so that you can develop the right risk management framework. And one of the important information that you take as an input is your stakeholders' input. Some of you have mentioned. Stakeholders are individuals who are relevant to your project. Someone who may or may be impacted, may impact, or could be impacted by your project. They are your stakeholders. Stakeholders could be internal, stakeholder could be external. Internal and external. Internal stakeholders, who are internal stakeholders? Your team members, your sponsor, project manager, any other departmental head. These are your internal stakeholders. And external stakeholders, client, customer, end user, government, media, regulatory bodies, authorities, suppliers, vendors, contractors, consultants, designers, competitors. These are your external stakeholders. These are people who might get impacted by your product. These are stakeholders. In risk management sessions, these people should be involved because their input is relevant to your product, right? So you develop your stakeholder register. In stakeholder register, you document all relevant people to your project, right? And you categorize them in 4 different categories based on relative level of power and impact. Power and impact. Now, power could be high, power could be low, impact could be high, it could be low. Stakeholder with high power and high interest, we manage them closely. This is one category of stakeholder. Stakeholder with high power, sorry, this is interest. You can take it interest. Just a second. Interest. Okay. Stakeholder with high interest and low power, we keep them informed. Stakeholder with high power and low interest, we keep them satisfied. And rest, we just monitor them. So here we categorize stakeholders in 4 categories. This is really important for your exam. You will expect one question from this where you need to categorize differently. So you invite all relevant people to your project in these risk management activities, right? Among these stakeholders, you need to define, okay, these are relevant and they should be invited. So answering Ahmad's question, which department should be invited? It all depends on your stakeholder community. You understand? Whatever list of your stakeholders is, you will be inviting them for your project. Okay, you take their input, right? And to take their input, you can conduct brainstorming sessions. Ahmad, is it clear? Have I answered your question?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Perfect. Brainstorming session, where focus is generating as many ideas as we can. Idea generation. You can conduct interviews where you need sensitive information, confidential information, or you need to talk to your senior management. You can conduct surveys, questionnaires. You can
Workshops.
do Delphi. What is Delphi? Anyone, please? What is Delphi?
Where people submit their input
Right.
anonymously, and then
Right.
those are gathered and shared back to everyone, so that if they have any
Absolutely.
change in their
This
input,
is
they
called
can.
anonymous survey. When you want to maintain anonymity, then you go with,
Delphi.
sorry, Delphi, not workshop, Delphi. Okay, which is good technique? So that's good. I learned something new. So what I learned is, if you want to erase something, the way we used with normal pencil when we were kids, we used to do this, right? To see it's erased. Okay, good. Right. So tell me, if you want to generate ideas, or if you want to identify as many risks as possible, when the focus is on quantity of risk, which technique you should be using? Workshop, Delphi, survey, interview, brainstorming.
Brainstorm.
Workshop.
I think brainstorming as well as the workshops, because
No,
some of the
choose one.
information.
Choose one. Choose one.
Okay,
Workshop.
so
Which
brainstorming,
one is
I
better?
would suggest.
You want suggest brainstorming? That's what you're saying?
No, I said I will suggest the brainstorming
Absolutely.
because you
Because the
can
focus,
openly discuss.
yeah, because the focus of brainstorming is discuss whatever comes to your mind. Workshop could be very limited to specific things. The purpose of brainstorming session is that there are no limits. You can say whatever you want. The focus is on idea generation, on the quantity of ideas, not on the quality of ideas. So if you want to generate as many ideas as possible, go with brainstorming, right? Okay, perfect. So these are the techniques that you use, and to get input from stakeholders. These are called data gathering techniques. Okay,
The
we also
expert
talk.
opinion can be part
Yes,
of interviews.
absolutely. Subject matter experts. Yeah, you can take expert opinion in writing, through interviews, through any form, right? You can take opinion in any form, not just interview. Saftar, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Then you define your project management information system. PMIS. What is PMIS? PMIS is automation of generating, organizing, storing, distributing, or archiving of project information. Any software or set of software that you used to organize project information, that is called PMIS, Product Management. Now, you need to generate idea regarding risk, right? You need to communicate that the information regarding risk to your stakeholder, right? So what you do is you generate project management information system for that, PMIs. So PMIs will be used for storage, distribution, retrieval, and archival of information, right? So for example, what data you will be having in PMIs, your risk register, regular updates, automated alerts, risk dashboards, communication with stakeholder. That's what we call project management information system. Right? So you define it here because you need to process this information throughout the life of your project regarding risk. So we use project management information system for communication related risk. Right? Now tell me, what's the benefit of PMIs? Who would like to answer?
Automatic.
Automation, okay. One is automation. Anybody else?
Automation and data is well organized and
Okay. Organization of data.
It keep updated data.
Okay.
Latest
Up to date
data will be there.
data. See, think it from business owner perspective, not as a team member perspective. From a business owner perspective, what benefit PMIs can give you?
Easy communication.
Easy. So you're saying convenience. Okay. It's convenient. Anybody else?
Project benefits, of course, as owner.
What benefits?
Benefits completing on time,
Let's say one
within.
second. You are the
Mhm.
owner of the organization and I'm project manager, and I come to you, hey sir, we need PMIs and it will cost us around $500,000.
Yeah, so then I will definitely ask, explain me that how I
Yeah,
will get the benefit of that.
yeah. So I'm asking the same question. Convince me to invest
Mhm.
$500,000.
So this
Mhm.
is monitoring and
Just a second. So Umesh said convenience. He said it would be convenient for the team to use. I don't care. I won't get work done, right? If it is convenient or not. Okay, it would be convenient for the team, but that's not a big deal for me.
If
Anybody
it will
else?
reduce the efforts as well. Yeah.
Reduce the effort. How?
It will help in
Because when you are automating something,
Yeah.
in the automation, it happens
Yeah.
that a lot of efforts are reduced.
Okay.
For example, any robots you are generating and involving in any project, that's are reducing your human efforts as well as the
Right.
cost because you have to spend once,
Okay.
right?
monitoring
Right.
and maintaining project information for project lifecycle.
Okay. Monitoring. That's right. But what specific benefit it is giving me?
it will help in the integration, no?
Help in integration. Perfect.
And
The
further
project.
understanding of the business as well, I believe,
Okay.
for the
Understanding of the
future.
business. Right.
Can be used for
Okay.
future projects.
Can be used for future projects. Perfect. Okay. Right. Yeah. These are multiple benefits from this, right? Yeah. Go ahead, Abid.
We can use it for retrieval of any specific certain data from a large
Retrieval.
database like.
See, you guys are talking about different functions that it can perform. It can be used for storage, it can be used for retrieval, distribution, communication, right? But the primary benefit of PMIs is that less errors, right? This is similar to what Rifat mentioned. Efficiency, no repetitive work. Efficiency is the key, right? That's what we want to achieve. And efficiency in terms of completing work earlier, efficiency in terms of spending less cost, efficiency in terms of less defects. Rather than doing manual communication, when you do automated communication, there are less chances of errors. Less chances of errors increases project efficiency. Efficiency is the key factor. And how you get that efficiency? Through consistency. Consistency across project organization. Whatever data I'm seeing, Rifat is seeing the same data. It's not like that I have the old version and Rifat is having the newer one or updated one. Whatever the updated version is, everybody's having access to that. Consistency is the key. Consistency leads to less error, right? When everybody using the same system, right, there is consistency. You understand, everybody? Does it make sense? There is a stability. So you may expect a question in the exam. Let me just try to see if I have here. And that would be around, just a second, if I could find that. Yeah, which of the following is a key factor to consider when evaluating the reliability of PMIs? Flexibility, integration, stability, or accessibility? Reliability of PMIs. 4 things I have told you, right? First is flexibility, integration, stability, or accessibility. What's your answer?
I think
Reliability
stability, right?
and
Yeah.
stability.
Stability. In order to find the reliability, how reliable your PMIs is, see how stable environment it creates, stability or consistency, the things that we have discussed. How consistent it is across the project organization, right? So this is how we use PMIs to automate the entire project management information system to make sure that everybody has access to same data, and it will reduce errors, right? Last thing before we jump into the risk identification, we create risk-aware culture. I asked you to do an assignment yesterday. I only received one response, and the assignment was analyze your current risk structure in your organization and tell me what kind of structure you have, right? So I only received just one assignment from that, and that is from Rifat. So thank you, Rifat. Nobody else responded to that. Maybe you guys forgot. No problem. Do it later. Just assess your risk culture of your organization. Tell me how it is. So you create risk-aware culture. How we can create risk-aware culture? How? How we can create risk-aware cultures?
I think if we discuss the finding and its benefits, that will be more attractive to everyone to be aware of this and implement it.
Okay. Discuss benefits. You're saying have discussion about it, right?
Of course, of course. The
Discuss
benefits in the sense
with
of
other people. Okay.
your achievements in terms of cost, in terms of timely completion, etc. So
Right.
yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Senior management has to be educated for this risk aware.
Right. Senior management, perfect. Anybody else?
So you can consider such risk in your future, and you
Okay.
can make your business sustainable, right?
Okay, right.
Stability is there.
Right, perfect. Okay, anybody else?
Make it part of the meetings, like weekly, monthly meetings.
Right, absolutely. Meetings, perfect. Perfect. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Yes, discuss, but if somebody doesn't understand, train them, teach them. You'll see a lot of questions in the exam, like a stakeholder is saying risk management is not essential, it's waste of time. What you should be doing? Train them, coach them, tell them how important it is, right? Discuss the importance of risk management with them. Train people, seek their input in the process, show them success stories similar to what Rifat mentioned, tell them the benefits of that. But the most important thing is involve people, because when you involve, people feel valued. And then they feel valued, they take ownership. So how we can create risk-aware culture? Involve people, have those discussions, train them, coach them, share success story, discuss benefits, so that people take ownership of that. Now, once everything is done, now you're ready to move to the next step. And next step is risk identification. So with this, we're done with our first domain, which is risk management planning, where you develop risk management plan. And risk management plan contain all the processes, procedures, tools and techniques, templates and formats and everything. Right? Once everything is ready, now you jump to the part 2. And part 2 is where you identify risk. If any of you have any question regarding whatever we have discussed so far, please feel free to ask. Any question regarding anything. Anyone, please, any question? No question? All set? Okay, next is risk identification. So you identify risk and you document the risk in risk register. Risk register is the document that you develop during the planning stage and you keep on updating it throughout the life of your project. And let's see, what do we have here? In risk register, you have risk ID, risk description, risk probability. Probability means chances of occurrence. Risk impact, right? Impact could be in terms of cost, could be in terms of your schedule. Risk category, right? We talked about different categories. Risk timing, risk triggers, right? Triggers are warning signs. So you document them so that you're aware that, okay, this risk is going to happen, right? Warning sign. For example, before rain, what are the warning signs of the rain, right? You see weather, clouds, right? All these are signs, are signals of rain. So risk triggers. Mitigation action, risk honor, risk action honor, risk reserves, risk status, any kind of remarks. All of these things are documented in your risk register. Now, in order to develop risk register, we use various techniques, right? We use various techniques. But there are a few things which we need to remember regarding risk identification. Number one, or best practices regarding risk identification. Number one, early risk identification. Identify risk as soon as possible. Second, risk identification is an iterative activity. What is meant by iterative? Who would like to answer? What is meant by iterative risk management?
Incremental.
Sorry?
Incrementally.
What is meant by incremental?
Step by step increasing.
Step by step. Okay. Anybody else? What is meant by iterative?
Coming from bigger risk to the smaller means high category to low category.
Okay. This is called breakdown of risk, right? That's what you're saying. Decomposing
Yes.
risk.
Yes.
Okay, that's a different thing. Decomposition of risk is a different thing. Iterative is a different thing. Anybody, what is iterative?
We can
Firstly
say that
doing-
things are refined along with time, means we are refining the things.
We are refining. Okay, anybody else? Refinement. We are having different words. Refinement. What
doing
else?
continue again and again.
Again and again, absolutely. doing it again and again. It's not a one-time activity, right? It's not a one-time activity. It's an activity that you keep on doing it again and again, right? So that, because as I said, it's not like that you always identify risk during the initial stages. You can identify risk during the later stages or in the middle of the project. So it is a continuous activity, right? Okay, so early
Excuse me,
risk,
sir.
yeah.
Does it also mean like they have identified risk not in a particular manner, like once we have identified it put it in the risk register, and again we refine it with respect to some kind of impact or probability or like some kind of risk category. So I think we may also do that regarding the iterative nature of the risk identification.
Yeah, that's right. One, you are refining, and second, what you're doing is you are adding more risks, right? Both the things are there, right?
Okay, sir.
Perfect. So one, you do it during the early stages. And second, you do it in iterative manner. And third thing, identify emergent risks as well. Now, what is meant by emergent risks? Emergent risks are those risks. So this is similar to iterative nature of project. Emergent risks are those risks which were not there at the time of planning, but they emerge during project execution. So what you do is you identify them as well. Emergent risks which emerge over time. Risk ownership, this is also a good practice. No risk should be without an owner. No risk should be without an owner. Every risk should have an owner. I hope it is clear. Every risk should have an owner. If your risk doesn't have an owner, means nobody is responsible to take care of that, right? That would be problematic. Every risk should have an owner. So you are identifying emergent risks, right? You are doing it in an iterative fashion. You are doing it early, right? You have an ownership, right? And fifth is communication. There should be regular communication about risk across stakeholders, right? Regular communication. And last is objectivity. Objectivity. Now, what is meant by objectivity? Means remove bias. Now, what is meant by bias? Let's say, I'm saying, let's identify the probability or impact of risk. If impact is high, medium, or low. I'm presenting you a risk. Risk of failure in the exam. Is it high, medium, or low? Who would like to answer? Is it high, medium, or low?
It
Anyone?
depends on your knowledge, your readiness, right?
Yeah, that's right. But I'm saying, let's say it happened. You have failed the exam. Is it a high risk, medium risk, or low risk for you?
No, it's issue already happened, right?
I'm assuming it will happen, right? You haven't taken the exam. We're talking about it failure now. Let's say we are assuming we are going to fail. What if we fail? Is it high, medium, or low? Okay. For Umesh, it is very high. Okay. Anybody else? What
I
is
believe it's a low because you can still prepare for that.
okay? It's low. Anybody else? How we would define if it is high or low? On which basis?
It depends on my condition.
Depends upon the impact.
How I'm taking the risk.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It depends based on the impact, right? It depends based on the loss, right? Does it make sense, everybody? Right? If it is high, medium, or low, it depends on the loss. Let's say if somebody has 3 certifications and if they fail, versus somebody
Risk
doesn't have, versus somebody
Doesn't have.
doesn't have any certification. Now tell me, would there be any difference? A person who doesn't have any certification would be highly demotivated. And they would be like, maybe I can't do it. This is not something made for me. And a person who has already passed 3, they were like, okay, I got 3, failed once, let's try again. You understand that? So impact will vary from person to person. Means it's highly subjective. It varies from person to person. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can say that if we will see that there are two types of impacts which can be. One is the financial and other is the time.
Yeah.
For a person, for the preparation of the exam and the fee of the exam. For some people, it may have high impact for the time management, and for some people, maybe the commercial impact is higher than the time management.
Right.
So we can say, as you are saying, that it is very subjective and varies from the situation to situation. Its
Just a second, please.
impact.
Okay, please go ahead. Yeah, Saftar, you're right. There are different factors that will contribute to the risk, like money part is that, time part, effort part, motivation, right? There are various factors. So what I'm saying is it varies from person to person. Means it's highly subjective. So there are two type of, impact that we consider, subjective and objective. Subjective means it varies from person to person. Okay, let me ask you a question. 2 plus 2, is it subjective or objective? 2 plus 2. Sorry, what?
Objective.
Okay, anybody else? 2 plus 2, it's
It
objective or
is
subjective?
basically subjective, sir.
It's subjective how?
Because it
Like
is
One by one, one by one. Let Abid answer.
Abhisa.
for example,
Saftar, you need to learn how to respect influential stakeholders. I'm reminding you again and again. Now you have interrupted Mr. Abid, so there would be consequences. Okay.
but as far as the influential is concerned, it is other way around it. Let's see. Okay. So let's say, for example, by objective, I definitely means maybe some kind of objectives involved, like I need to issue something, like for example. So as far as the subjective part is concerned, like simply 2 plus 2 makes 4, that's really subjective.
Okay. So we need to understand the meaning of words subjective and objective, why I'm emphasizing on this concept. This is a concept which is very helpful in your life, and we use these terminologies every other day, but we couldn't really understand the meaning of it. So please try to understand. When I say it is subjective, or when I say it is objective, these are two different things. You have taken exams in your childhood, let's say primary school exam, 6th grade, 7th grade. There were two portions of your exam, objective and subjective. Do you recall, guys? Have you seen those tests
Yes, sir.
where
Yes,
there
sir.
were
Yes, sir.
objectives?
Yes.
Why we call them objective and why we call them subjective? I think you can learn all these small things, risk register, and you can, but these are the things that's my job to tell you. Why we call them objective and why we call them subjective? We call them
Sir,
objective because, yeah, Abid, go ahead.
sir, subjective part was something like theoretical question, long question,
Yeah, yeah,
and objective part was something like fill in the
yeah.
blank subjectives like this.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Objective where you have multiple choice questions, MCQs. Subjective where it's long. If we see, you might have noticed, like in objective part, there is only one right answer, right? There is only one way to find the right answer. A, B, C, D, either it is A, either it is B or C. It can't be like that. For Abid, it is A. For Rifat, it is B. For Aftab, it is C. For Mubarak, it is D. You understand? There is only one answer. That's why we call it objective. With just one answer, there is no multiple interpretation, just one answer. But in subjective, there could be multiple interpretation. Aftab's answer would be different from Rifat's answer. Rifat's answer would be different from Abid's answer. Because their own opinion matters. Now, if I say 2 plus 2, what is the answer?
Objective.
2 plus.
Objective.
Objective.
It's objective. For everybody, it is same. It's subjective. And what is subjective? I say, do you like weather today? Is it objective or subjective?
Yeah, of course, this is subjective because
This is subjective.
weather here is different. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like black color? Subjective or objective?
Objective.
Something that varies from person to person. That's what we call subjective valuation. Subjectivity. You might have heard in English object, subject, and action, right? In English, basically. Subject means that depend on person who is doing that. So subjectivity varies from person to person. When I say, what's the impact of this risk failure? Is it subjective or objective? I ask you a question. What if you fail the exam?
Depends upon person to person, so it's
Is it objective or subjective?
this is subjective.
Subjective, because it varies from subject to subject. It varies from subject to subject. In project management, when you are doing planning, is it good or bad? When you're making decisions, let's say. Subjectivity is good or bad?
Good.
Sorry? What?
Good.
Good. Why it is good?
Because you gather opinion from everyone.
Okay, that's right. But in terms of making decision, is it easy or difficult? It's not
It's
good.
difficult.
Difficult.
It's
10
difficult.
people would be having 10 different opinions, right? Yes,
Yes.
it will enhance the quality of your decision, but decision-making process itself is lengthy and difficult. You
Yes.
understand that? That's why we want to reduce subjectivity. Right? We need to have some element of objectivity so that we reach the conclusion. Right? For example, if I say, what about weather? It's subjective. It's difficult to conclude if weather is good or bad. Right? If I ask you a question, what about weather? Some would be saying good, some would be saying bad, some would be saying neutral. What's the decision? In order to make decision, we need to bring some objectivity. We need to limit subjectivity. Does it make sense, everybody? So in risk management, when we are identifying risk, we need to bring objectivity in the system so that for everybody, risk impact If it is low, it should be low for everybody. We should all be on the same page. In order to understand a situation better, we should all be on the same page. We should see that thing from same angle, from same perspective. Yes, diverse perspective bring quality, but to make the process easier, there should be some level of objectivity. You understand? Finding the answer for 2 plus 2 is easier as compared to, do you like this car? That's a debate. In order to avoid debate, we bring objectivity into the system. So, identify risk early, do it again and again, look for emergent risk, assign ownership, communicate to everybody, and bring some objectivity in the system. Otherwise, it would be very challenging for you to, define your risk management structure. I hope it is clear. These are some of the best practices that we follow. Now, what are the tools and techniques that we use? Is it clear, everybody? I hope you will not forget this subjectivity and objectivity.
Sir, specifically, I got the whole concept of like we used studying the objective resolution in social studies. So I got it was having some objectives like that's why it was called objective
Yeah.
resolution. But today I came to know that it was a resolution that has the same meaning for each and everybody. So that's why
Yeah.
it was called
Yeah.
objective
Yeah.
resolution.
So I think these small things are real learning from if you learn one such thing in one course, that means it has fulfilled the purpose. Something that is useful, a concept that is, that is worthy to be understood or that you can apply or use. Okay, what tools and techniques that we will be using data gathering techniques, all the techniques that we have discussed, like interviews, brainstorming, and surveys, Delphi, workshops, right? All these things that we use. In addition to that, we use other techniques as well. For example, we use assumptions and constraint analysis. Assumptions and constraint analysis. We talked about assumptions yesterday, right? Things that you suppose to be true or deem to be true, that you take them true as reality. Now, my question to you is, what's the point of reviewing these assumptions while you are identifying risks? Why? What's the point of that? Why we are doing that? What's the purpose?
Because with the time we have to review either our assumptions are still true or there are variations, what we assumed at the beginning of project.
Okay. Right. That's right. I got it. Anybody else? So Aftab is saying we need to see if assumptions are still valid or not. Okay, perfect. Anybody else?
Assumption whether may lead to risk or not. It's leading for risk or not.
Right. So see, you said inflation would be 5%, right? At the start, during planning. In the middle, you want to see if assumption is still valid or not. Is there any risk associated with this assumption or not? So you develop an assumption log. It's a separate document that you use where you document all of your assumptions and you review them throughout the life of your project. Right? So assumption analysis helps you generate project documents in standard form, interpret the data easily, and review the document data to test the functionality. Right? So you identify the environmental conditions or any kind of assumptions, right? Assumptions could be from different perspective, from cost perspective, from schedule perspective, right? regarding project selection, regarding contract negotiation, regarding resources, regarding change management, regarding government, regarding regulation, regarding weather conditions, material availability, labor availability, funding availability, regulatory. So you analyze all of them together, right? And then you see which assumptions are valid, which assumption could not be valid, and what are the risks associated with those assumptions. So assumptions and constraint analysis helps you identify more risks. Noticing everybody? Assumption and constraint analysis helps you identify more risks. So you analyze your assumption logs, you challenge your assumptions, and you identify risk associated with those assumptions, right? So this is assumptions and constraint analysis. We also do root cause analysis. Root cause analysis, and for that we use Ishikawa diagram or fishbone diagram. Fishbone diagram. Fishbone, it's like a fish-like skeleton. So fishbone diagram. So you have fish-like skeleton, where you have fish head here, where you write problem. Let's say problem is poor quality of your product. And you have reasons here. Why quality of product is poor. Right? For example, product quality is poor because of resources. Or let's say people. It could be poor because of material. It could be poor because of processes. Right? It could be poor because of equipment. So in root cause analysis, you try to identify the root cause of the problem or multiple root causes. Why? Because root causes helps you define a strategy for the risk. So let's say you have a risk of poor quality. You identify the root causes, and then you come up with a solution for that. Right? This is also called why analysis. Because you ask why poor quality? Because of these things. Why material? Because it is outdated, or let's say it is expired. Why it is expired, not inspected. Why it is not inspected. So you go to the root of the problem. That's why it is called why analysis. You keep on asking why again and again until you find the root cause. Right? Somebody failed the exam. Why? They could not complete all the questions in the exam. Is it the root cause? No. Why they cannot complete all the questions? They were not able to manage time. Why they were not able to manage time? Because they didn't do practice. Why they didn't do practice? Because they think practice is not important. So the root cause of failure is that interpreting or misjudging the importance of mock test. So to solve a problem, first you need to identify the root cause. And for that, the technique that we use, that is called root cause analysis. This is also called Ishikawa diagram. And Ishikawa diagram is used to identify root cause of the problem. So you use assumption and constraint analysis. You use Ishikawa diagram or root cause analysis, right? Okay. In addition to that, you can also use alternative analysis. And in alternative analysis, what we do is we see what are different alternatives that you can use. Is there any other way to do that? Alternatives. Alternative analysis gives you different options. So this is first option, this is second option. For example, what are different ways to, let's say, conduct a brainstorming session, right? So there could be multiple options that you can use. Okay, so that's what we call alternative analysis. Okay, so you use all these techniques, and in addition to data gathering, one is also called pre-mortem. Pre-mortem and post-mortem. You will see this in exam. Pre-mortem. Pre-mortem is its analysis or it's a practice used to anticipate and address project failures before you start the project. It is anticipation of expected project failure. Anticipation of project failures. Pre-mortem means before somebody died, you diagnose potential causes of death. That's called pre-mortem. And post-mortem, you identify causes of death after somebody's dead. So you do pre-mortem of your project. But in pre-mortem, what you do is you identify potential causes of failure so that you address them earlier. So you use all these techniques that we discussed earlier. You use brainstorming, you use document analysis, checklist, prompt list, Delphi technique, expert judgment, expert interviews, historical information, pre-mortem, questionnaires, surveys, facilitation, workshops. All of these techniques help you identify risk. The last thing that you do is SWOT analysis. These analyses are really important. Please pay attention, right? You will see a lot of questions from these different analyses. It's SWOT analysis. It's the analysis where you identify strengths of your project, weaknesses of your project, and from that you get opportunities and threats. And what's the purpose of this risk identification? Identify opportunities and threats. And this is also one of the good practices. Do not only identify threats. Do not identify threats. Identify opportunities as well. Opportunity means positive risk. Your risk management is only complete when you identify threats as well as opportunities. Now, once you gather data from all these different sources, then you do data quality assessment. Data quality assessment. And in data quality assessment, you make sure that your data quality is right, there are no errors, and this data can be used for further analysis. Right? And how we ensure data quality? Again, you sit together, you get it reviewed, we call it peer review. In peer review, your data is reviewed by another group or colleagues. They give an independent opinion about that, and you rectify any errors, any duplication, or anything that needs correction. Once it is done, you jump to the third stage of your risk analysis, risk management, that is called risk analysis, and that we will be discussing next class. That's it, everybody. We're done with our today's session. Now, next 5 days, you will be having mock tests. Since we are updating the mock test, as I told you, some of you were asking why we started this class a little late as compared to last week. PMI has updated their content for risk management. And this is updated as per the latest exam content outline. So questions will also be updated. So there might be a little delay in giving you access to the learning management system. We are working on that, right? But we will be doing, let's say, 3 to 5 mock tests in this week, right? And then we will be having next lesson on Saturday. Whatever mock test we will be getting, please do it. It will only take 30 minutes to do it and 30 minutes to review it. Daily 1 hour is more than it. In addition to that, I'll be sending you some reading material as well, right? These recorded lectures as well and class notes. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me whenever you have a question, right? I'm available. I'll be answering you. If you follow the strategy, in next 15 days, you'll be able to pass the exam. So the way you guys passed PMP, CP, and other certification, RMP has the same. Just follow the process, do the mock test, and you'll be 100% ready to prepare and pass the exam. In addition to that, I have sent you risk management standard. Hope everybody has downloaded that. Please start reading. Right? There is some additional information that is helpful. In case you're not able to understand anything, please feel free to reach out. Before we end,
for this,
yeah, go ahead.
For this exam, we have to study this book, Risk Management Standard.
That is helpful. That is helpful. Even if you don't read, no problem. Everybody, please turn on your camera. Let me take a snap. Everybody, please turn on your cameras. So this is not mandatory. You can read it. It would be helpful. Taqdir, you need to
Basically,
turn
I'm
on light.
confused. Then where to study so that we can prepare for mock exams?
No, you
From
need
this
not to
book.
study. You need not to study. This is just for additional knowledge. Okay. Arslan, is it clear?
No, I am a bit confused right now.
No, I'm
Really.
saying you need not to study anything. That's what I'm saying. Still you are confused?
Yeah.
I'm saying you need not to study anything for this exam.
Just to
Just
give
follow
mock
what?
exam.
Sorry, what?
Just to give mock exams.
Yeah, just give mock exam and that's it. Mock exam are itself preparation. Rely on the conversation that we have, class notes, and take mock tests. That's it, nothing else. Okay? But you can read that for additional knowledge. Okay, everybody, please smile so that I could capture that. Everybody, think about our influential stakeholder, Mr. Abid. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I'll see you next Saturday, right? Meanwhile, I'll be sending you a lot of useful material. Please go through that and stay in touch with me in case of any question, right? See you next Saturday. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.